Welcome on in, everybody. Tobin and Leroy taking you up until 2.
We had to change sports on his ass.
Yeah.
Yes.
Miami Dolphins will be back on the practice field today. Nick Needham
Back?
He is off. He's off PUP. So the bad news is Isaiah Wynn's going on IR for the time being.
Really? So that's 4 weeks.
That's another.
So that's another O lineman.
That's another O lineman, which is which is not great.
Is anybody coming back?
Might be Jalen Ramsey week, baby.
No.
On the line?
On the line. That's more
No,
important.
I don't think so.
So Connor's still out?
Connor is the only one I think who can come back.
That's the most important one. The center?
Yeah.
You want?
By the way, those Liam Eichenberg snaps. Oof. I thought Connor Williams snaps were a little.
Dude, can I just tell you? I don't think people understand what it's like to look between your legs, snap a football with a moose in front of you, knowing that,
Philadelphia does have a lot of mooses.
Listen, here's what needs to happen. And I've heard somebody else say this, but I was thinking the same thing. Teams are doing this to the Dolphins. If you have a reputable front four, they're playing soft, letting you go sideways, run. When Tua looks, nobody's moving. Everybody's staying in their spot. And so all the things that you were doing to create space, they're not allowing you to do it because they're just not paying attention to it. And their hope is that those front guys can get there. You change it up with a blitz every now and then. They're not playing a whole lot of man. That's what Buffalo did. They got an excellent front four. That's what Philly did. They got an excellent front four.
Yep.
That's what New England did to start it. Not as good. So
Right.
Tua picked them apart. So this is what you need to see moving on into the future is how is our game plan going to look when teams do this to us? Now, the one thing you can do is run the football. But last week, they didn't run the football that well.
No, especially in the first half, it was non-existent.
Right.
Got a little better in the second half.
Right. They did run it some against Buffalo. So there's that. They ran it well against New England.
I mean, they've been the best. They've been the best running team in the league.
But they ran it well against New England. So these are the things you look for. If a team's going to play us soft, if a team's going to play off, if a team is only going to rush 4 and try to get to us with 4 and drop 7, we got to be able to run the football. If we can run the football, we change their thinking, and then it gets us into a better position to throw the football.
There was a report yesterday from where the hell is this guy's name? I'll get it, but there was a report yesterday that the Dolphins had submitted several missed calls from incorrectly called penalties for the league to review. Now, it doesn't win you anything.
No, it doesn't.
Hopefully, this is one of those things where they can rectify and get a little bit of something, because it was crazy. Seeing all the still shots and all that stuff was hilarious.
It's crazy. Like 4 plays, like blatant. It wasn't like and the officials in the screen looking right at it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just look. We all get held accountable for everything we do on that football field. Why not them?
I think the thing that's going to be interesting to watch this week is, look, the Patriots have, they had this big win last week against the Bills. They're going to be feeling froggy. They're coming down here. The Dolphins have been amazing under Mike McDaniel at home.
Yes.
They've been really, really good.
Yes, but again, the Patriots are the originators of this plan to stop Tua. They started this.
Mm-hmm.
There's been other teams that have implemented it, but the one thing that those other teams have had that the Patriots don't have is pressure with 4. And so that's why it makes it a little more difficult for them.
Sure.
But keep in mind, they are the team that came up with the game plan
that slowed it up.
Slowed it up.
Yeah, that's
slowed it up.
Because even Tyreek Hill still got off a couple times
Sure.
in that game, but that was his worst game of the season.
Right. So understand that while we're talking about the Patriots and they just came off a win against, Buffalo and whatever, this was the first team that came up with a decent game plan to slow down that offense. So I want to see how the offense responds.
Josh asking the Dolphins be 100% healthy for just one game. Probably not.
I was looking along what Dolphin Kane said. Why does Tobin have Smith and Smolik on his shirt?
I love Schmita.
That's not Smith. That's Baby Spo.
Got my guy from
Baby Spo, baby.
Parks and Rec. Hadn't this to me. He did a new painting for me, and then he's like, "Hey, take some shirts." So I was like, "Yeah, shout out." Alex does a great job. If you guys go check him out, it's up on my Instagram, Brennan_Tobin. You guys can see the canvas that he put together for me. But he also gave me this Baby Spo shirt.
And El Bore, you're correct from a certain standpoint
about tight end.
Yeah, because what a tight end does in this offense, it allows you to run the football. It gives you an additional blocker, even if that guy is a pass catching tight end. You line them up on the inner line of scrimmage. It gives assistance to the run game.
They do that.
They have to come up.
Yeah, they do that with Smythe and even Julian Hill.
But they don't want to take a weapon out of the game, and that's why they don't do this much.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So in obvious run situations, they might go in with the tight ends, or that way.
They don't throw to their tight ends.
And so from that standpoint, it almost looks as if they don't use the tight end because they're eliminating an aspect of their offense because you can't throw them the football. So that's why they don't. But I agree that if they find that guy that you can get 40, 50 catches a year and still put him on the end of the line of scrimmage and have him do some pass pro and block, yeah, that's going, because here, the more you bring into the box, the more they got to bring. Yeah. Otherwise, you just ram it down their throat.
I just think as a game planning thing, like, look, I don't think the Dolphins are in this spot where I'm going to be like, oh, anybody's going to figure them out yet. But you can only take so many hits. Like, look, the offensive line has gone way beyond everybody's expectations this year.
They were really good when healthy.
You can only take so many hits.
Right. Well, like, look,
you can only take so many hits, dude.
They were really good with everybody, all hands on deck. If you start taking hands off deck, and that's just, and it's that's the same with thing, everybody.
But it's the same thing with the secondary. It's like, you could take, all right, we could go a game without Xavier Howard and Eli Apple. We'll figure it out on one side. Then you lose Xavier Howard and Jalen Ramsey and Kaderko, who got to be out there doing more, and Eli Apple got to be, even when Eli, when he declares it's an Eli day. You could only take so much. I
appreciate my man not backing down, but damn.
Yeah.
That's all I can say about that.
And they could get, and like, look, yes, you're taking on Mac Jones, who sucks. But like, if you're not gonna, let's just say in a doomsday scenario, Jalen Ramsey's not ready, and you have Jalen Ramsey maybe out, Xavier Howard maybe not all the way back.
Nick coming back.
Nick Needham's coming back, but Javon Holland in concussion protocol. So like, you're talking about all that secondary that's already been a little bit limited.
We haven't had you, and the cool thing about it is the thing that has helped is that you've gotten some pressure on the quarterback up front. So it relieved the tension off the back end, but you're still losing bodies, right? And I guess, I think that might be one of the reasons why they're playing so much zone, is that you got a lot of new faces. And I don't know if I want Eli Apple playing man, to be honest with you, because he will bite the cheese and he will go for the slant and go and try to tackle the guy.
Mousetrap.
Once a game. Mousetrap. That's it.
Those headlines brought to you by the new Palmetto Ford Truck Supercenter. Why buy your truck at a car store? Palmetto Ford.
We know trust.
Quickly,
I should probably leave the coffee alone.
Diamondbacks take out the Phillies in Game 7 of the NLCS 4-2. So we got a Diamondbacks Rangers World Series.
Ooh, big ratings.
Oh, yeah, dude. Listen,
Diamondbacks and Rangers, that's nobody east of the Mississippi.
That's right.
It's a 2-hour flight from either city.
The Panthers beat the Sharks last night 3-1. Sam Reinhart, Carter Verhaeghe.
Reinhart is on fire.
Rhino's been he's been killing.
He's got 7 goals this season.
Killing it so far.
7 goals.
Heat, they open up tonight against the Pistons at 7:30. Coverage on QAM begins at 6:15. Jay Rich, Haywood Highsmith, they will miss tonight's opener. And last night, the Nuggets handled the Lakers 119-107. Gabe Vincent, he was a team low -17 over Florida from downtown.
Hey, so
that's what we're doing now.
You see what they did with LeBron? They put him on minutes restriction.
Yeah.
And
which is kind of crazy. Oh, it's like now you're gonna put him on a minutes restriction. The Heat were doing that with Jimmy last year. Jimmy was what, 7 years younger than LeBron?
Yeah, but I mean,
Or what?
He's about
How old is LeBron? Is he 40?
No.
He's 38.
38.
He's 38?
Yeah.
I thought he was like 40s already.
21. He went into the league when he was
18.
18, right. So the crazy thing about
So Jimmy's 4 years younger than LeBron.
The crazy thing about all this is that, I mean, they're putting him on a minutes restriction now.
Mhm.
Like, come on. I mean, he should be on one.
They should.
He should be on one, but
Well, it'd be nice if his
that was playing out to be a LeBron game where he scores 20 points in fourth quarter.
It's but the Heat did this with Jimmy last year because Jimmy was banged up. They played him. They really limited his minutes in the regular season.
It didn't matter.
What do you mean?
You think it mattered?
Did you see how he played in the playoffs?
No, I know.
That's the whole point. Like, you get him geared up. But yeah, LeBron's been pretty banged up as a Laker.
They tried to do it last year, but then they ended up as the 10th
They
seed.
always do that. No, they always try and then what's his name?
Somebody gets hurt. Street Clothes gets hurt. Now LeBron got to play 40 minutes.
Right.
Well,
And here's the other thing. All these great players say, yeah, they want to be put in a time limit restriction, and then they start saying, "Oh, I need to get going.
Get my wind.
I got to get my wind back. I got to ante up." LeBron can't play 24 minutes. It's not in his DNA. He's gonna play 30. He's gonna have to ratchet the minutes up sooner or later.
How much did Joker? How many minutes did Joker play last night? He played.
I don't know, but he
36.
had a triple double.
He was thinking about his horses.
He played.
So
how many he played? 36.
36 minutes.
But he had a triple double.
Yeah, 29, 13, and 11.
It's like that dude gets
Horse.
and that's a different triple double than what Westbrook and Harden used to get, right? Because it's probably very, very efficient.
Super.
Like he don't make no extra unnecessary moves.
Nope. All right, take a break. Back after this.
By the way, it has come to my attention that we need to go to court.
This is ridiculous. This is not
because Vlad, I looked over and Tobin was typing Bradley Beal.
That's not
Wait,
fair.
what?
Yes.
Not fair.
Why were you typing Bradley Beal?
No. So he said, I'm not talking about it, right? But he already found a caveat 12 and a half minutes after we talked about the caveat cowboy over here.
I'm not going to say the person's name, but the reason that person who I can't say I was putting up, I was literally posting the clip on YouTube so people
Then
can watch
why were you smirking?
Why are you posting things?
He was smiling.
The reason I was smirking was because I was typing like this, and Leroy was like giving me the look. I was going, fast typer. And he goes, what are you doing? What are you typing?
I just knew something was
What
up,
are you typing?
Vlad. I knew something was up.
On YouTube, you guys can follow.
You couldn't go 10 minutes.
All I was doing was
go.
posting the clip on YouTube, which you guys can watch, by the way. Miami
Let me
56
read the
WQAM.
caption. This is a true test.
Good.
Here's the caption.
The caption says,
Tobin swears to not talk about Bradley Beal to Miami Heat anymore.
see? It's on the record now. Now it's easily found on our YouTube page.
See, this is why we need a trial and we need a
Oh,
judge.
you definitely
because this is like,
don't you understand? You don't understand how his
you
brain
know
is
what?
working?
You know what? This is like in all the movies back in the day
Hmm?
when the guy got caught smoking a joint and he said, I got glaucoma. right. That's it, right. This is how I feel.
Don't you see the smile in his face?
Smoking weed was illegal,
Mm-hmm.
right? But you have found a caveat that hopefully somebody buys.
I'm just having fun, baby.
I
I thought
understand.
you guys wanted the clip for people to see.
No. I understand.
Tobin's mind is working so evil right now. He doesn't have to say it. He's like, I don't have to say it.
I suppose,
But they never said I don't have to post.
Look,
I can't type things about Bradley Beal. I just can't talk about Bradley
I can't
Beal.
talk about who you're talking about, but what I'm just trying to. I thought you guys would want the people to see that I am on the record swearing that I can't talk about that person. So I'm not trying to do anything sneaky. I was, in fact, if anything, it's about more accountability.
Tobin, you have a problem, and this is an intervention. Tobin, on Beal Talk, I just can't quit you.
I'm not. I already quitted. I was quit.
Boulder Beal. I get that one.
Oh, man. All right. We'll take a quick break. You guys can get us at 305-567-0560. If you're a Heat fan, you're fired up. You're going to the game tonight. Love to hear from some Heat Nation out there. Dolphins back on the practice field today. Could be the first practice back fully on the first team for one Jalen Ramsey. Mike McDaniel.
I think. Do you think they are a little more cautious with him? I know they need him, but this is a tricky thing. Do you want something like this lingering?
Supposedly he doesn't have any limitations. Like he's
that's a whole different
that's
story.
what we'll play a couple of McDaniel on him, but he was making it sound like he's good to go.
Okay.
Or is on the mend to good to go. I guess
Right.
you know him. He's always like, but I like to protect people from themselves. That's
Right.
always the Mike McDaniel. He's a caveat cowboy.
By the way, on YouTube, was it Hazio PKK?
Hazio. Yep.
You can't just Voldemort him and get away with talking about him just because he who must not be named him. It still counts.
That's not
Where's
fair.
the dartboard?
But I'm being no. That's not with him. I'm not talking about him. I am being told that even me writing the name is ridiculous.
Here's the problem. If you didn't think it was that big of a deal, why, when I looked over to see what you were doing, you were giving me the look. You had to smirk. You're like you were doing some dirt.
Because
did you not have to smirk like you were doing some dirt?
You gave me this look because I was typing, and you're like,
you were mighty quiet.
What are you doing?
You know what you're like when the dog goes into the other room and it's quiet. You better go check on.
It's just because
I saw you over there typing. No. You were quiet. I'm like, let me see.
You just always happen to think I'm up to nonsense.
Because you are.
This is the guy who's replacing John Jones. He's so scary.
So scary.
He's very scary.
Whoa! He got his head split.
Yep.
Let me tell you something.
Yeesh.
There's nothing scarier than an MMA or a boxer that wins a fight while being bloody.
Yep.
Right?
Pretty wild. I mean, this guy. So yeah, John Jones. We talked about this at the top of the show today, but John Jones is out of his main event because he got hurt. But this Pavlovich, he's just walking around South Florida. He's enjoying life a little bit too much. Like it's all casual down here, and I think more people need to know that he's like one of the most. He's one of the scariest dudes on the planet.
Who's the sneakiest? Like just in sports, sneaky scary guy.
Sneaky scary guy.
Because I would say Christian Wilkins.
Yes, because he plays too much. He's just jovial.
Yes, right. Like you think somebody's serious and you putting on your mouthpiece and your helmet and everything, and he's just playing.
I don't know, man.
Who's like a sneaky, like just like smiling and you know what I mean? Because usually the guys who are that way, everybody, like you hear Crowder talk about some of the guys he played with and Tim Bowens or whatever, always like that, right? Just scary.
Crazy, dude.
Right.
So yeah, Jalen Ramsey sounds like he's going to be back. Mike McDaniel will talk to the media a little bit, but he did talk about Ramsey's potential return on Monday, and this is what the Dolphins head coach had to say about that. This is him saying he had a good first week of practice last week.
A great practice week, and I think it's henceforth he got Scout Team Player of the Week on defense. And was in a camo jersey on Friday. So not in the business of crystal balls, specifically with guys returning from injury. So we'll take that a day at a time to make sure we don't get ahead of ourselves. And when he's ready to go, he can't help himself. He will let me know.
You don't like camo jersey for Scout Team Player of the Week? Why not?
Let me tell you something. That's all fine and great. But we all know that man is not here for no damn scout team. You hear me?
I understand.
Okay. So celebrating the Jalen Ramsey winning Scout Team Player of the Week does what? When we just watched some DBs not have their best day.
Yeah. And we watched, I mean, if technically he's the Eagles DB in this one, we watched the Eagles DBs cheat a lot.
There's some.
This is Mike McDaniel saying he should be ramping up this week from scout team to first team.
Yeah, I would see that as a natural progression to start garnering reps, and that will be part of the process. You know, that it was the first week, so we tried to keep him away from that. This week, the plan as of today, which is Monday, which is very different than Wednesday, but as of today, Monday, we would start working him into defensive team reps to see how he responds to that. And dust off the old cobwebs.
You have to throw that in there, right? It's not like he made it sound like he just went on vacation, right?
I mean, look, the prognosis was December originally. So yeah, getting back, I guess technically would be like right before November if it's possible. Really good job by Jalen Ramsey.
Do you want him for the KC game or after the KC game?
Oh, I would love him for the KC game.
But you have a bye. So do you give him at least,
I think that's, what, Vlad, to be honest with you, you make a valid point. I think if there's got to be a certain how he looks to where it's not worth playing him when you have additional week where you can make it worse, right? But if he's to a certain point where like that's not going to be a hindrance,
I don't think they would have taken him off.
Play.
Like
say it again.
I don't think they would have taken him off IR if they thought that like there was a chance it could get worse.
Well, no. See, when you take him off IR, that means you have 21 days.
Right.
So those 21 days ends after the bye week.
It ends in the middle of the bye week.
The middle of the bye week.
Yeah.
So the fact of the matter is that you could, depending on how he looks.
You could do it, but
So
I'm just saying I don't think they would have done it that early if they didn't even think there was a chance he could be back for the KC game.
I see what you're saying. The 21-day period starts at the end of 4, or do you have to be put on that 21 days?
It started when he practiced last week.
Right, because they took him off the IR and put him on the 21
and I think it ends in the middle of the bye week.
Okay. So that means he has to have played by then.
No, his first game could be the bye. You guys are right on that. I just don't think that they would have brought him back if there wasn't a possibility he could play against New England. Because McDaniel said even last week, he goes, I'm cautiously optimistic he could play before the bye week.
Okay.
So, and now, there's been reports from, I think ESPN said like there's a chance he's going to play this week.
Okay.
Which would be pretty cool.
What?
Yeah.
Have you seen this?
I know.
I mean, like, he could go out there with one leg in a wheelchair and think he could do better than, like, whew. But here's the problem. I know we talk about the secondary and how banged up they are, but that A.J. Brown is a monster.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and you ain't got the only person that even matches up a little bit with him as far as physicality is X, and he was out.
Yep.
So no matter whoever you put back there, if it wasn't X or Jalen Ramsey, they weren't going to be able to handle A.J. Brown.
Right.
So
and I know there was a lot of people asking about Cam Smith because Cam Smith, the second round pick, hasn't played yet.
He's not ready.
Dude, like you don't want him getting roasty toasted on national television.
He's not ready. You think they didn't want to put him in there? He's not ready. Like, and it's something to be said about, here's what I love and hate about sports. I love young guys to get opportunity when they earn it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I hate the whole mantra of just throw him in there, let him learn.
I think
on
Devon
the
A. Chance kind of ruined it for everybody because he came in here and he lit up the league. But like, come on,
but here's certain positions, right, where like if you play running back
mm-hmm.
and you have good eyes, right, and you have speed, you can plug and play.
Mm.
You see what I mean? Like you don't need, the whole, but if you're a wide receiver or a cornerback or O-lineman, like, yeah, there's a lot of things you got to pick up on and learn as far schematically before a coach is ever going to have, the faith. Because guess what? If the running back runs the wrong way, it's a 2-yard loss. If a DB plays the wrong coverage, it's a 60-yard touchdown.
Waddle Baby Waddle says, to be fair, Eli Apple still isn't ready and he's playing.
and they use that line. You ready for the line? Veteran.
Oh yeah. Here's a little bit more from Mike McDaniel.
Did he play with Jerome Baker?
I think they maybe crossed over for a year.
Okay.
I think we looked this up. I think they crossed over for a year. And here's one more from Mike McDaniel on Jalen Ramsey on if there are any physical setbacks.
There hasn't been any sort of setbacks or there's no concern. It's really just you have a process that you go through, and you don't try to get ahead of yourself. So we don't rush the process. We're already, he's done such an unbelievable job in getting to this point that you don't want to, nonsensically just force an issue just because you want him on the field as fast as possible. You got to do right by the team and the player. And but you're right. There's been nothing that's been cause of concern or hesitation so far.
There you go. Sounds like all good news. I guess we'll find out later this afternoon if Jalen Ramsey is with that first team, and Mike McDaniel will speak before practice, see where we're at. We'll get our first injury.
Even if he's with the first team, that doesn't mean anything.
No, but we will get our first injury report today.
Yeah, that's true.
So we'll find out if we will get more clarity today for sure. We'll take a quick break, get back into the heat a little bit, and also Cat Talk. Panthers winners last night over the Sharks. Rhino, he is on a tear so far this season.
7 goals
in
6 games?
Pretty crazy. So we'll hear a little bit of Doug Plagan's calls from last night.